Bringing you the voice and vision of custom culture and lifestyle, as seen through the eyes of this South Texas duo. Welcome to the Custom Couple. What's going on, Brant? Welcome to the Custom Couple.
What's happening to my favorite custom couple?
We're enjoying a typical Tuesday for us, which is come home from work and eat and then decide whether or not we're going to be lazy or go to the gym.
Sure. I picked the lazy part.
Well, you said that Tuesdays were like your only like open day, so I figured you're probably either really busy at the shop or really busy with the family or both. Yeah,
family is evenings and weekends, so I've got let's see, Mondays the kids have tumbling and volleyball, and then Wednesdays we've got church, and then Thursdays we got tumbling and volleyball, and then ninja class, and then Fridays is like date night. So
oh my gosh, you got a full schedule.
that
Tuesday's
date night,
my only day.
That date night's very important though. That out of all
absolutely.
Of it.
I have to remind my kids that, we were here before y'all were, and so mom's still more important than you. So I brought you into this world, I can take you out of it, right?
Exactly.
100%. Absolutely. So, folks, we've got Brant Martin on the line with us, and y'all jumped on like immediately the minute we were deciding whether or not we wanted to do sponsors for our show. And before I was even like, yeah, we'll do it, you're like, I'm already on board, like, let's do this. So totally appreciate that, man. Absolutely appreciate the fact that you liked what we were doing so much that you wanted to be involved with it. So tell us a little bit about what's going on at Martin's Rod and Custom.
Well, I signed on because we've got history together too. I think we did a podcast, about 8 years ago or something like that with the Rust culture.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You were one of the first folks that we actually went on the road to go interview. Right. So that was really cool. And even then, like, the shop was much smaller then. When we came out for the crawfish run, I was so surprised how much the shop has grown and how much y'all are doing right now.
Yeah. When we moved in this shop 11 years ago, we were in 800 square feet, and then took over a little bit. I think by the time you did an interview to about 3,000 square feet, and now we've all in-house at 10,000 square feet, one-stop shop. So
man, that's amazing.
18 people on our team and working on about 25 cars at a time. So we got about a 6-month waiting list on the top of that. So
nice.
Yeah, we've been blessed. We've been blessed. We got an awesome team. I've got a full-time GM now that takes care of a lot of the day-to-day stuff, and an admin taking care of payroll and the paperwork crap that I don't like dealing with, and got a full-time parts guy that does all that. Basically everything that I was doing by myself for 16 to 18 years, and then hired a business coach in 2020, just at the perfect time before the crap hit the fan. We started putting systems in place and figuring out that I was overworked for the amount of awesome work that we had and good customers. So we ended up moving one of my guys that worked for me for 4 years up to a GM, and then, like I said, hired an admin person and a parts guy. And then I got a lot of people on the team that are just rocking and rolling out there. So that's why I'm able to do what I do, is because I've got an awesome team. So
that makes a huge difference when it comes to any kind of business, is having the people that you can delegate to. Trying to do it all yourself is absolutely, like, it'll wreck your mind for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have a nervous breakdown occasionally. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I tried to run a media business by myself and realized that is just and I can imagine trying to do 25 cars at a time in a shop and be employing 18 people at any given time. I mean, that's a big load to try to take on yourself, man. So it's really cool that you've got such a team.
Huge help is having an awesome wife that backs you up. So.
Oh, yes. Yes.
That's your first battle and your first backer right there. So.
Yep.
Well, they keep.
I'm glad she's here for this one too. She's a lot better to look at than just you sitting there talking to you. So.
I get cool.
So I heard Dan got the short stick. He got just you last week.
Yeah.
You know,
old
and
Dan Johnson.
the funniest thing is that so many people comment, they're like, "Where's she at?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" That means I'm doing good.
That's right. Yeah. You are important.
Yay.
Yeah, sometimes she gets stuck at work, and being in the healthcare field at this time, it's just like it's hit or miss.
Oh yeah,
it fucking sucks.
Yeah, I don't envy you at all. Yeah.
But
I don't envy you at all. Yeah.
You know, the having a good wife in your corner. I mean, they're the most honest part of any business as well. Like they tell you when you're screwing up. Like
sure, yeah.
Hey, you know, fix
They're allowed
this.
to give constructive criticism and say, "Hey, dumbass."
Pretty much. This doesn't fucking work. We got change.
Yeah.
That's right.
No holds barred.
Right.
But
good sounding board too, good vents, you know. So it's
of course, and especially when you've got ideas for what you want to do next, and you know, it's like, does this sound good? Even like, yeah, absolutely.
Or you get that sideways look, like,
yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you do that, you better not stay here.
That's right.
I'm changing the locks on the doors.
We're not that close yet.
No.
Oh, you got time. I've been with mine 24 years, so.
We're going on 3. I dig it.
Yeah.
It's doing well so far.
I think the funniest part is that people are like, "Man, it's been that long." I was like, "Well, we were together for 3 months and then got married at 6 months. So yeah, it's all a learning process at this point."
Yeah. No, it works out. I mean, you just kind of know. You just know when things are going to go well.
Yeah. You don't worry about the single people problems. You just jump in. So there's no really such thing as marriage problems. You know, squeezing the toothpaste at the bottom or the middle, that's single people problems. You know, all that stuff can be worked out.
Right.
That's not marriage problem.
No. And it's not so much the fight of which way does the toilet paper roll. Is there toilet paper on that roll?
That's right.
Everything else is just whatever. But man, what have you got going on in the shop right now? You're telling me you got 25 cars at any given time. What's your bigger projects right now?
So we're specializing in the F100 culture right now. So all my hashtags and stuff like that, you can look at Let Us Build Your F100. And that'll give you links to all the F100 builds we're doing. We're doing custom Coyote swaps and doing custom front suspensions. I'm even in the process of designing my own front suspension on a 57 to 72 F100 at the moment.
Wow.
That kind of got put on the back burner with COVID, of course, but
everything did.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm trying to put out there, that we are the F100 specialist. And so let us build your F100. So we do everything in house. So like I said, paint, upholstery. We have F100 seats collected up, all kinds of parts cars in the back, ready to do anything you need for pretty much a 57. Well, we'll do 53 to 79 F100. Of course, we'll go further back because everybody loves a 40 Ford pickup and, you know, the 30s stuff. But our specialty is 53 to 79 F100s. So
now you said Coyote swap. Coyote, is that like Ford's, like, you know, LS? Basically,
yeah,
how
basically
everybody puts an LS in.
Yeah, exactly. It's what the Mustangs have in them. I think they started in 2011 with the 5.0. That's the Coyote motor.
Okay, so
and then the new latest greatest thing is the Godzilla motor. They're putting in the 3/4 tons and biggers, which is a 7.3 liter, which is 800 horsepower in a box. So
oh my god.
Yeah, capable of 1,800 horsepower. So just bolting stuff onto it.
Do you have anything with that high of horsepower in the shop right now?
I've got a 67 Fairlane, or it's a Galaxy 500 with a 4.6 supercharged. That's 608 at the rear wheel. And then I've got a 55 Chevy with an LSX that's 860 at the rear wheel. And then got 2 Coyotes in the shop now. They're 500. One's 485 and one's 530 at the rear wheel. So,
And you got some open roads there in Lampasas, so we can go.
yes, we do. Yeah, and I went to high school with most of the cops, so they just leave me alone. It's like, just don't kill yourself. I don't want to clean you up at the end of the day. You know?
They just see you zoom by. They're like, "Oh my god, we should go get him." No, that's just Brant. It's fine. It's fine.
Just let him go.
Yeah, he's just testing some stuff. It's fine.
You make sure to put a Martin sticker on the back of everything so they don't pull you over.
Yeah, because they don't have license plates on them most of the time, anyways.
I know that bad.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've convinced myself that I have to drive this car harder and faster than the customer does. So if it can break, I'm going to break it here before you get it. So
that's
kind of a fun thing to.
That's good logic right there, though, because you really don't know how, like.
I like it.
I mean, I think that works though, because really, like, some people will fix things to a certain point, and then the customer's like, "Oh yeah, pedals to the wall. Like, I'm just gonna go fucking fast," and then they break it. They're like, "Well, you didn't even fix my car," and that goes like a whole can of worms.
Yeah, different. Yeah, totally. I've burned up a lot of transmissions on test drives, just banging them. You know.
Yeah. No, we've been at the shop when you were testing those tires to see how much they'll smoke. We've seen that firsthand.
I'm resurfacing my parking lot one stripe at a time, you know. So. And I'll always get permission from the customer though, but they're like, "Hey, how fast is it? Will it do a burnout?" I'm like, "So you telling me in writing that I'm allowed to do a burnout in your car?" Yes. Thank you very much. Here we go.
Yep. 100%. Yes, that is what I'm telling you. You know, I'll bring the Oldsmobile up there, and we'll see how slow it can go.
Sure, yeah, I'm excited to see that thing.
It doesn't go anywhere fast, but it looks cool doing it.
Hey, that's all right. Low and slow is good.
Yep, that's where we're going with it. So now
you break less stuff that way too.
True.
You and I have talked, I mean, on multiple occasions. Now, you had a little bit of a soft spot for Buicks and nailheads at some point. Is that still a piece of your heart?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've owned 9 63, 64 Rivieras in the last probably 12 years. So, yeah, so 401s, 425s are a big part of my deal. I'm tired of belly button cars, you know, the Camaros, Mustangs, all that. Everybody's got them and they all stink, you know. So
I love that.
Good to know. I'm going to keep that feather in my hat because my Buick is a 401.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's a 364. It's a 59. So
yeah. Well, they actually switched some stuff up in there. So, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sweet. 401's better.
I think the original 364 probably just took a crap at some point, and they replaced it with another nailhead, and it ended up being a 401.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it was an upgrade for sure.
Yeah. I've got plenty of 401 parts. Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. And then, of course,
transmission conversions, adapters, all that stuff when you're what's it called? It's not a power glide. It's a
torque flight.
Torque flight, yeah, torque flight, and that one up to 63 was a torque flight. And so we make an adapter that puts a power glide or a 700 R4 or a GM transmission behind a 401 nailhead. So
nice. Yeah, that leaking ass transmission. I don't care for them.
Yeah, it's cast iron. It's gonna leak.
If you got something better that will have overdrive, is even more better.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. It's not a cheap transition, so drive the shit out of it until it breaks. But
that's usually what I do with all my cars.
Don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah, when it breaks, we'll just put it on the side of the road and put a sign on it. It's a boat anchor.
No, because people will still snatch that fucker up.
You text me the second it breaks down, I'm stealing it. If you're just leaving it, just make sure the title's in the glove box.
No, from that one episode of people finding out that that's my new car, people were like, "When you're ready, you can." I was like, "I'm not selling it. It's mine. I've been looking for it for like 8 months. It's mine."
It hasn't even gotten home yet.
I know.
Right?
I mean, she could sell this thing on the highway as it's driving home. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah. No,
I mean, they're going crazy right now. The prices just went nuts. I mean, that's something that we could definitely talk about today. the price of everything in Texas is ridiculous right now. Like, and I'm used to everything just being super cheap here. Why are
everybody trapped in their house? They're ready to get out and invest in ATVs and guns and hot rods and all that. So their prices of stuff's going through the roof.
Oh man, everybody's trying to sell their car for gold right now.
Yeah, anything in the hobby business right now is, real good to sell, not to buy.
Mike, I think Mike Paul told us that. He's like, when we had him on the show, he was like, anything that a middle-aged man is trying to do for a hobby right now is just like going through the roof.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I talked to Norm Jones. He's one of the Continentals. He's a great friend of mine right when this pandemic started and stuff. And I was freaked out about it. I'm a hobby business. And I'm like, Norm, what do you think? I think he's 80-ish. I'm not going to make him older than he already is. So I'll get in trouble. But super cool guy. Always been a hot rodder, been a businessman his whole life. And he's like, my experience with this young man is that people will realize they're not going to live as long as they thought they were with the pandemic. So they're going to get their shit out of their garage and get working on it or pay someone to get it on the road. So, and he was right. Ever since then, we've been just slammed. So.
Now, of course, y'all are specialists in the F100 realm. So yeah, I'm sure you're seeing a lot of those, but are you seeing an influx of any other types of cars right now? Like everybody, custom is just kind of an overall term, but is there anything that people are just like absolutely chomping at the bit to get to, like chopped cars, bagged cars, lowered, lifted even? What's kind of the realm right now?
What I've been surprised about actually is the Model A and 32 business. I mean, for years I was predicting that as these guys get older, they're going to want bigger cars and stuff that's more comfortable. Their backs and knees aren't as good as they used to be to crawl in and out of a Model A. So they get into the 50s and 60s cars, which is true. But also our generation and back are really starting to pick up on these 32s and Model A's. And the 30s cars are still expensive. They've always been expensive. Yeah. But they're still maintaining and even going up in price. 32 3 windows are still, ungodly amount of money. So,
especially a real one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like fiberglass ones are ridiculous amounts of money, and then you get a real one, and it's like, yeah, I couldn't afford it. I could live for about 3 more lifetimes and not afford it.
That makes 2 of us. But that's what surprised me. Yeah, the fiberglass cars actually have been going down a whole lot in this last year or so. You've got this traditional people that are hardcore traditional, got to be forged steel. Brookfield 32s are still up there, but fiberglass cars are dropping. Yeah. But they're just hard to sell, period. But yeah, I see a lot of muscle cars and stuff like that also getting popular. The big body Mopars and high horsepower stuff with all these Coyote swaps going on, the Hemi swaps and stuff like that that's available in the market now. And I've always noticed it since starting 20 years ago that my cars get newer and my customers stay the same age. So my 45 to 55-year-old customer used to want a 32 Ford, 57 Chevy, and then they wanted a 63 Impala or a Galaxy, and now they want muscle cars, So whatever they had in their high school era, that's what they're kind of going for. Even, there's guys that are spending a ton of money on IROC Camaros and Monte Carlos and stuff like that. That's not our style, but they're spending money on it. And the aftermarket's recognized it too. Well, look, just square body Chevy pickups. We used to buy them for $500,
that was all my first long. Truck.
Yeah, exactly. That was just your beater when your hot rod was down, when I was a kid. So, but now they're, through the roof also. And so even what they call OBS, old body style Chevy trucks are getting more expensive. So the newer they get, the younger generations are attracted to those, or, they like that style of truck or car or whatever. So the mullet cars are coming on now. Like I said, the IROCs and Monte Carlos.
Yeah. So. Yep. Jean jackets all around.
That's why my dad
New Balance
refuses.
shoes.
And oh my God, you just described my dad. My dad has a Camaro that he refuses to get rid of, and he wore New Balance shoes, the red polo with the red hat. He will not let it go. That is his Camaro, and I'm like, oh,
rocking
my God.
the 80s, baby.
Yep. 100%. 100%. That always reminds me of that scene in Billy Madison when he goes back to school and he finally gets to high school and he shows up in the Camaro and he gets out and he like fluffs his jacket and he's like, yeah, you've been out of school for a long time, buddy.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Now you're showing your age.
Oh, I know. I do normally. Yeah, we had a friend of ours that does a lot of the auctions, stuff like that. He's a broker, and he was saying something real similar, like the '90s body styles of Camaros and Pontiac, the Firebirds. Yeah, like that. Yep. Those body styles are getting some big amounts of money as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, you see in the aftermarket as well. Heights Hot Rods, which used to just do 30s and 40s cars, are now getting into the 80s and 90s. Camaros, Firebirds, Ride Tech, Air Ride Technologies, all those guys, American Auto Wire, Vintage Air, they're all getting into the 80s cars. So they're supplying the aftermarket with what they see is coming on. And you could buy a whole chassis for a 80s IROC with LS motor mounts, 4-link suspension coilovers that'll run cones like nobody's business for less than 10 grand, So I was thinking, oh, that'd be cool. I'll just go buy a $1,500 IROC and put a badass chassis and a LS motor in it and go to the track. But now there's no such thing as a $1,500 IROC.
Man, yeah, you're not lying, man. It definitely has gone way up. Everything that we want to do right now is really expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, the pandemic, is one thing that, made a lot of that kind of happen. But I mean, the price increases on a lot of stuff has been going on since before then.
Sure.
Everything has just gotten expensive as cars weren't so easily to get. We used to have junkyards just full of bodies that you could just go and pull. And then here we went through that whole thing where they were ruining engines. Like, was it
cash for clunkers?
Yep, cash for clunkers. And that drove up the prices a little bit on getting like good engines to put into things when
poured liquid glass down the radiators and filled them full of glass.
Yeah. Oh man.
Lock them up.
I mean, it's a good thing it's October because that is a horror story for most of our people. Oh my God. Yeah, but I mean, what about 5, 6, even 10 years ago when all of the main popular TV shows started coming out, and we started seeing a huge amount of folks that were they were seeing things on TV, and then they were trying to sell the rusted out bodies in their backyards for like 10 grand because they saw it on TV, and it's like,
right.
Like, what did that do for as far as from a business standpoint? How did that affect you? How did that affect what you have to do as a businessman?
Yeah, you get the guy that calls and says, "Oh, I want to do this and do that. I seen it on TV, and they're making a ton of money off of it." And then you've got the guys that are like, "Oh, well, they can get that done in 30 days," and just all that crap that you got to deal with. So we call them like Facebook tire kickers or whatever you want to call it, Facebook dreamers.
Yeah,
TV dreamers. But so I mean, in that side of it, perspective of it, it kind of ruined our industry a little bit, just because the chip fuses and all that stuff. I've rebuilt several TV show cars right now, or through the last 20 years. And actually right now we've got a 40, I think it's a 49 Cadillac that Jesse James did on Monster Garage in 2006. Him and Dennis McPhail and all of them. But it's a slam together TV car. You know what I mean? It looked really cool on TV, but it's just full of Bondo and halfway done. There's no floor in the trunk, stuff like that. There's a gas tank just hanging out in the back, and it runs and drives, but just not real safe. I mean, it's extreme sketchy.
But see,
so that side of it has made the cars go up, in price to what the seeing on TV, what they think they can sell it on Barrett Jackson. Then you see Craigslist ads. Well, not Craigslist much anymore, but Facebook Marketplace. It's like shows a Barrett Jackson car, and then this guy's piece of junk that's right beside you. I know what I have. This car sold at Barrett Jackson for $500,000.
Oh my God,
that's why I want $80,000 for my Mustang with a tree growing through it. So,
oh man, there's all those terms when people are selling cars that you know the phrases to stay away from,
or the famous
ran when parked.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like the famous one, running when parked.
Yes.
So, they all ran at one time. Yeah, I promise.
So I hope when you parked it, you stopped it. If it was running when parked, you have a brakes problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, oh man, we've always kind of made fun of a lot of the TV shows. Like there has been some positive that came out of a lot of things. I mean, just in the industry and in general, in overall, growth and enthusiasts, people who just they may not have
Absolutely.
been into cars if it wasn't for them being on TV and becoming popular.
Oh yeah, it's been a huge help also to the industry. So don't get me wrong, it's like you said, the next generation, the younger kids see how cool a Model A actually can be. They take a original and hot rod it, or a 50s custom, stuff like that they've never seen before. Because before that, dad or granddad had to be into the hot rod deal for them to get into it. Yeah,
like,
exactly. Me too.
I'm like,
yeah, absolutely. That's how I got into this. Is I turned my dad's hobby into a business. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be interested in cars at all if it wasn't for my dad. So
right.
But yeah, so the TV shows have really promoted that, and I think that has helped the industry as well. I mean, shoot, what was it? Almost 20 years ago, an American Chopper was going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started my company. It was, I'd watch that on Monday night and get all amped up about my business, and then come in Tuesday morning and try to act like Paul Tuttle, and all my guys would sit there and look at me like, who the hell is this?
Start throwing chairs around.
Yeah. So, I was 21. I was dumb. I thought it was a cool thing.
But
it helped the motorcycle industry. I mean, choppers were going crazy back then.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you watch them tank. You could buy that $100,000 chopper now for $5,000 to $10,000. So
yeah, I have seen kind of a downward spiral from what used to be cool as far as the motorcycle shows, and kind of like the was it the one we went to, Giddy Up? Mm-hmm. That's been like the most popular one that we've gone to, is the Giddy Up, and I think the Rot Rally still goes on in Austin, right?
Yeah.
And we always had a blast going to the shows. Neither of us ride a bike.
No.
But
me neither. Yeah.
there's still a giant gathering of folks that love to be on motorcycles. We've got a few of them in the club. And but we're starting to see a different type of motorcycle become popular now. It's not so much the choppers anymore. It's a lot of bobbers. We've been seeing bobbers at a lot of the shows now. So I don't know.
Cafe racers, stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted a cafe racer if I ever got on a bike, but I'm 6'3". I would look absolutely ridiculous on one.
Well, remember
I'm the opposite. I want a cafe racer too because I'm 5'8". If I got on a big American chopper, I look like a pissant riding a log. You know what I mean?
No, at one point he wanted to learn, and so we went to a dealership, and this guy was like, "Oh, you're gonna look great on this. It's gonna look amazing." He looked like he's getting on a fucking clown bike. He looked so funny. I was like, "This doesn't look right." He's like, "It works." I was like, "It doesn't work.
No.
Do not sell this. He looks horrible with this." Like, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no.
See, there you go. Constructive criticism. She saved you.
You look like a moron.
No, I mean, it was like, no, get off. Don't even. He's like, just feel it. Don't even feel it. Get off.
Yeah,
it's a no.
That actually reminds me of a Norm Jones story. He had a 57 T-Bird with a 392 Hemi in it, And he'd go to all the T-Bird shows to just piss the T-Bird guys off, because he had Hemi in a 57 T-Bird. He thought he was so cool until he drove by a plate glass window for a furniture store. And so he's like 6'4", 6'7", I don't know, huge. Mm-hmm. Anyways, his windshield was right here and his head was over the top of the windshield to his nose. And he goes, yeah, I look like a clown. My whole head's over the top of this windshield. And he sold it like the next week.
You know what? That reminds me of talking about T-Birds. I mean, there's some of these like hardcore enthusiasts and
they know what you're bringing up.
Yeah, folks that just like they're real hard nosed about everything being exactly the way it should be. The day Sam brought home her T-Bird, I almost got in 3 different fights on Facebook. Like,
nice.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
She's over here just crying right now.
Facebook professionals.
Oh man! So of course, what we like to do, whenever we get a certain type of car, we love to get into the groups that are based around those cars to try to meet other people that if we need to find parts, if we need to whatever, exactly. And post up a picture in one of the T-Bird groups, and it she had a square bird. They have the perfect trunk to be posed on. It's just take a picture of her on her car that she just brought home, and she's leaned up against it, and the first asshole that pops up on there wants to tell her not to sit on her own car. And I was like,
oh my god.
He's like that's not what it's for. You're gonna mess up the paint. I was like, and I immediately just was like, it's my fucking car. And so purposely what I do now at all car shows, that any car I bring, I sit on it or I lean on it on purpose so someone can look, so someone can be like, you shouldn't be sitting on that guy's car. I was like, it's mine, asshole. I can do whatever I want on this car. Like, ever since then, it has been my mission to piss off any old person or any kind of like hardcore enthusiast. Be like, it's mine. It's mine.
I do what I want with it.
Go away.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's like the Edsel group. RJ, one of my best friends, has that 59 Edsel. And there's a hardcore Edsel group on Facebook too, that original only. And yeah, he'll post on there, and then shit'll hit the fan. I can't believe you put a metallic roof on that. That's not original that way, and it's got air ride suspension. He's been kicked off the Edsel Facebook page like 5 times, but they keep
I want to be like RJ.
He just puts a black and white picture of his car.
I want to be like RJ when I grow up. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. How is he doing?
Yeah, that's not high hopes there. Raise your standard a little bit.
I think I'd have to shrink about 5 inches, actually.
More like 18.
How's it old RJ doing?
Yeah, no, he's doing good. Yeah, he's working for the school district, so he does the IT for all the ISD here in Lampasas, and so then he does mine on the side. People think he actually works here. He does so much promotion for me, but he doesn't have an office here. He works from his house on my stuff. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, absolutely. And I work on his Edsel, and he does my website and promotion and stuff like that. So
man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a good trade. I've got all kinds of RJ stories too, I could tell you.
We'll have to get both of y'all on here one time. That'll be a riot.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, no joke.
Ran into one of your guys here recently that you built a truck for, the flat brim farmer.
Yes.
Yeah, Trey.
Yeah. He was out at Luke and Rod. We had a blast talking with him for a bit, and got to sample some of his stuff. Man, that stuff's good.
He makes
some of it'll
awesome
light you on fire, but it's good.
Jalapenos. Oh yeah, he was the one that boiled our crawfish for us. It got so hot, spicy.
So angry.
First time I ever tried it, burned the shit out of my mouth. But I was like, it tastes so good and it burns, but I'm gonna keep eating it. I was like, keep eating it.
That's right. Self-abuse is better than no abuse.
Yeah, exactly. And oh yeah, once you start eating it and it's hot, it's like, well, it's not gonna get any colder, so you just keep eating. It's not gonna cool off. Keep going.
Yeah.
Y'all got any plans for that again?
Enough that I can start just tasting it.
Y'all got any plans for anything like that? Like that cruise we didn't get to participate in the cruise part of it. We broke down and had to come out later. But
right.
That was a lot of fun, just hanging out there at the shop and eating delicious food. Should do some more stuff like that. We should do some things together if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the toy drive coming up in December. We do a toy drive for the fire department locally. So be on the lookout for that. We haven't set a date for it, but the Disciples Car Club and I put that on. And so that'll be a couple weeks before Christmas, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And then our 20th anniversary is coming up this year for the shop. So we're going to put on a pretty big 20th anniversary party. I'm going to try to get some good bands, and we're adding on to the shop and trying to get some more buildings and room and stuff like that too. So hopefully that'll be done, and we'll have a lot of room to park cars and do more events here at the shop. So
man, that'd be a lot of fun. Man, it's gonna be 20 years this year for my high school reunion. Just remembered that.
Such a baby. No, I was 21 when I started, so I wasn't much older than I graduated.
We don't play that game when it comes to me because it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. So how old are you? We don't ask.
We don't ask.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, if you got a toy drive coming up in December, of course, we can help out from down here in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. We can figure out some ways to put some things together.
That can also be our event with the Dead Texans, because we choose 2 holidays, which is usually Thanksgiving and Christmas, that we kind of help out with like a donation, or we even help out with anybody's drives that they do, because we do Meals on Wheels on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh,
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that last year. Sam got to work all day. But
16 hours was great.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, we enjoy doing things like that and getting involved with it. So definitely, we'll put some things together and maybe make a trip up to Lampasas one weekend.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Now the Disciples, are you in the Disciples, or are you just closely associated with them?
Yeah, I am a member. Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, me, RJ, and Shane Mock are one of the original guys that kind of got together and we've been praying about it. And one day, a car club that ministers to people at car shows and stuff like that. If you have any marriage, situations or anything like that, you just want some guys to talk about, drink a beer, hang out at a car show, like-minded people, and let's talk about real life stuff. And so that's kind of our focus as the car club ministry. And now I don't know how many members we've got now, but I think it's probably around 10 to 12 members on the club. So
nice.
Mostly Austin. We have some also members in Mississippi and New Mexico as well now. So
wow,
very cool.
Yeah.
When did y'all get started with that?
2019, I think. Either end of 2018 or first part of 2019, because I remember 2019 I had my booth set up at the Lone Star Roundup, and I blocked off the whole front row for them, so they were front and center at the food stands and everything. They're like, wow, power parking.
You cannot beat that. That's for damn sure.
It's not who you are, it's who you know sometimes.
Exactly.
Oh, very, very much so. We've figured that out with a lot of things that we do. It's like we show up at some places and it's like, hey, you're those people that do that thing on Facebook, and it's like,
exactly.
Yeah, we are.
Bingo.
Thank you.
I don't know your name, but you have that car. That's
yeah, pretty much.
You buy the car.
Oh man,
you got it.
I got into a conversation the other day about that. It's like there's like 3 or 4 guys at my work, and they all have like older cars, and
okay.
And nobody knows their names. They're just like, oh, that's that dude with the Camaro. And it's
right.
Oh, you mean Roger? Oh, that's his name?
No, that the dude with the Camaro.
That's right. That's how I identify.
And we meet so many people too. I tell people right off the bat, I'm not going to remember your name, but I'm going to ask you your name like 4 or 5 times, just so at some point we might be on that level. But right now, I'm going to ask you your name over and over again.
And I tell people to do the same for me. I say, I don't expect you to remember my name either. So you ask me my name, so I don't look so bad when I ask you yours. So. I've got it set up with my GM and my wife both. If there's somebody I don't know the name, I introduce them like, "Hey, this is my wife Megan," and then she'll say, "Oh, hi, what is your name?"
That's exactly the go-to that we do. That is the exact same thing.
I love it. Yeah, if I forget somebody's name, I introduce them to Sam. It's like, "Oh, this is my wife, Sam."
The minute that's the first thing, I was like, "Damn!" And now I gotta ask them their name.
See, yep. Working together. I like it too.
Always. Oh, yeah. It's got to be. We talked about this. There has to be a give and a take, and there has to be a team in progress before you can go forward with anything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
The battle is with everybody else. As long as we're on the same team, we're good.
There you go. I like it.
So what else have you got going on right now, man? What's some of the coolest shit you're putting out that's going to be hitting some car shows soon, hopefully?
Working on a pretty awesome 56 Chevy two-door sedan. It's kind of a belly button car again, but it's going to have a custom paint job on it, and it's got a big block blueprint racing motor with dual fours and full ride tech suspension. And so, I mean, it's above and beyond pretty much anything that we do, custom bumpers and, a lot of custom stuff done to it. Well, I say custom, not the kind of custom we're used to, like custom headlights, taillights, chop.
Yeah.
But it has the street rod billet stuff on it to make it over the top. So,
are there any shows that you're going to be heading out to soon, or any ones you're trying to catch?
Yeah, we sponsored the Invasion this year. So October 23rd, we're all rolling up there. The disciples are meeting us in Temple at the Buc-ee's, and we're all going to meet up and drive up I-35 to Deep Ellum that Saturday morning.
Nice.
Yeah, and we'll have our tent set up. We'll be throwing some merch out there and trying to sell some stuff to promote a little bit, but mostly just hanging around, telling bad stories and drinking some beer and just enjoying the culture,
All right, we'll meet you in Temple because we're driving out Saturday too.
Yeah, we're driving up Saturday too. So yeah, I'll get with you and see if y'all have got a time or anything that y'all are trying to meet up. We'll probably try to do that as well.
That'd be awesome. We'll get together for that. Absolutely.
That would be really awesome.
Pistons and Paint is in November. We'll be going to that in Denton. That's a great show. Mm-hmm. Ribs and Rods is in November. I'm going to miss that one because it's the same weekend as SEMA. But the disciples will be going to that car show as well, and some of the guys from the shop here. So
very cool. I always loved Ribs and Rods, and we're going to miss it again this year because that is Sam's birthday weekend.
Yeah, that's a priority. Smart man.
Well, no, when the first year we were together, we went for my birthday, and then I was like, all right, cool, we're going to go next year. And I was like, well, shit, there's a really good show playing. We can go to this one. We can spare this one this time. We can go next year.
Been there, done that already, too. Yeah. Changed it up a little bit.
And then Pistons and Paint is always a fun one. Mm-hmm. Gone to that one several times, make the trip. Of course, my parents live like an hour away from there, so like go and stay with them for the weekend and don't have to pay for a hotel.
Yeah.
Can't beat
RJ
that.
and I, we don't pay the hotel either. We go and come the same day, so that makes for a long day. We'll leave at like 5-6 o'clock in the morning and drive all the way to Denton, hang out all day, and then leave at 5 o'clock that evening or whenever we feel like leaving and drive all the way back home. So,
oh man, I've done that so many times for like the shows out in the Houston area. From San Antonio to Houston is like 3.5 hours, depending on what part of Houston.
I just realized I've made your drives worse because I'll make you go to a gas station. I'm like, we're sleeping at least for an hour. And then we go to sleep for an hour. And I'm like, all right, let's continue. We've done that many times.
I did that on the way to California one time, going to Barrett Jackson. I mean, we're so excited to get there. We drove straight through for 24 hours.
Oh, shit.
And the guy that went with me accidentally took some Tylenol PM, didn't know it was PM, and then started sawing logs next to me as we're going through Arizona. And I'm sitting there, my eyes open, had the XM radio blasting, the whole 9 yards. I'm like, forget this. I'm pulling over to the gas station. And I pulled over to the gas station with my 40-foot enclosed trailer full of high-dollar cars, and still was like, okay, I'm going to try to sleep and still keep an eye over my shoulder to see if anybody's jacking with my stuff.
That was us coming back from Lubbock. We took a trip to Lubbock, and that's like a 6.5 hours.
We took off at 6 a.m. We didn't get back home till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Because
a whole lot of nothing.
Yup.
Oh, my God. That drive is terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, I don't know who want to really live in Lubbock for anyways. You got all those people that love the area, but gosh, a whole lot of nothing.
That was like the most puzzling part is that everyone's like, oh, you should come back. You'll love it here. I was like, there ain't nothing out here.
Lubbock itself wasn't too bad. I mean, it was small compared to, where we're used to being at. Of course, Lampasas is like, about three lights. Y'all got 3 lights now?
Yeah, I think at least 5, I think.
Working on the 6th.
We're a population 7,000 people this year with the new census. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It was 6,000 when I moved here in like 1987, and now we're at 7,000 people. So.
But no, Lubbock wasn't bad, and the restaurant that we ate at was pretty cool.
Cook's Garage.
Cook's Garage.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
It was absolutely delicious. I was so happy.
The food was good. Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to knock on them at all. Like, I didn't expect it to be good, but I was actually pretty surprised with, like, a lot of times you see like a nostalgia type place, like it lags in some things. No, their food was amazing, and it was just a really cool atmosphere. So I dug that.
Yeah, they've got the atmosphere and the good food. Yeah.
Yeah. But the drive there and the drive back, it poured down rain in the dark. Oh,
I'm blind as I'm blind as fuck. I can't see at night, and I was like, I can drive as much as I can. It started raining. I was like, I'm very limited now. I think that there's a gas station like 10 minutes. I think I can make it. And the minute we pulled in, I was like, I'm done. It's your turn. I can't see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the worst part of the Crackenback race is between here and Lubbock, So,
oh, yeah. Yeah, for real.
In our $500 car. So.
How did that go? That was just recently, wasn't it?
Yeah. We just did that in July this year. We had a copycat run that we usually did the second weekend in June, first or second weekend, and they did the same weekend we were going to do it, but they were leaving from Abilene to the Grand Canyon and back. And so we postponed ours so they didn't draw all the cops out on their race and come pick us up right behind them, Yeah. So, this is our third year, or it's the third or fourth year that we've done it. I didn't participate this year. I stayed back and just did commentary videos and stuff like that on our Facebook page to the Crackenback.
Yeah.
And RJ and my GM Rick, they ran it this year in our Mitsubishi Eclipse that we won in last year. So
nice.
But we RJ and I won it in 2020. Did it in 27 hours and 42 minutes or something like that. From my shop here in Lampasas to the Grand Canyon and back, with pit stops in between and all kinds of scavenger hunt type stuff to do between here and there. And the guys that won it this year, they did it in exactly 26 hours there and back. And so
shit.
Wow,
that was ridiculous. Yeah, we were averaging 91 miles an hour to win it last year, and so that kind of tells you how fast they were going this year. They did it an hour and 40 minutes before we did. So.
Oh, man.
I just decided I'm getting too old for that crap. So I just decided to stay back and just do some videos and stuff like that to kind of promote it. So,
I mean, is there small towns that you got to go through for that, or is it all just open road?
Yeah, there's some small towns. I mean, so one of the destinations was Roswell. You got to take a picture with an alien in Roswell. And last year we had to take a picture with a UFO in Roswell. And then we had, last year you had to eat pie in Pie Town, New Mexico, which is in the middle of nowhere. And then 1 year we took picture with the Wigwam hotels, the little tiki hotels in Arizona. And then, this year the Lincoln, New Mexico, they had to do a shootout at the courthouse that Billy the Kid escaped from. And so they literally had to get some cap guns or water guns and do a little shootout.
That's hilarious.
On video.
Living your Young Guns moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And they did a Chinese fire drill in Lubbock, I think, or Abilene, one of the towns. They had the video, the team doing a Chinese fire drill. So running around the car in pool floaties. So you had to wear pool floaties while doing a Chinese fire drill in Lubbock, Texas. So
I love it.
While someone's videoing you or in front of a crowd. So
oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It
sounds
great
like
time.
a great time.
There's a bunch of fun stories of stuff that happens and stuff like that. But we ran out of gas in Arizona in the middle of nowhere, or just at the border of Arizona and New Mexico, and it's like cold outside because it's 3:00 in the morning and nobody's on the road. We have just gave away our last gas, or poured our last gas in from the spare tank that we brought and stuff like that. So RJ's over there with no phone signal. We're giving his last rites to Sarah, like, if I never get to see you again, I love you. And, it's cool. Nobody's on the road. And anyways, like 45 minutes later on the side of the road, one of the guys in the race comes by and gives us gas,
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
aid.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Stories like that. Yeah. One year we had to do take a picture with a cop and pump gas for somebody in Santa Fe, New Mexico, or something like that. I don't remember how it went down, what the rule was. But anyways, RJ and I pull up to a gas station in Santa Fe, and we're like, hey, cool, look, there's a cop sitting there. We could take a picture with him, and then we'll go pump gas for a stranger, So we roll up to the cop, like, hey, we're in a scavenger hunt. Can we take a picture with you? That's one of our challenges. He's like, yeah, sure. I'm about to arrest this chick in a Volvo, but hurry up and take a picture. And we looked at each other like, okay, sure, he's going to arrest somebody. So we take our little selfie with the cop, and then all of a sudden you see this brown Volvo pull up in the gas station. The dude jumps out of the driver's seat, grabs a baby out of the back seat, and starts hauling butt, just walking off. 4 cops roll up and start ripping this chick out of the gas station, in the gas station parking lot, out of this Volvo. And we're like, dang, live PD, let's get the heck out of here.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wonder what that story was.
Mexico. Also at like 2:00 in the morning, I guess we're buzzing a little quick through Lincoln and all that, and coming to a town, and there's a sheriff sitting on the side of the road, like, hey, cool, we'll get a picture with this guy. And so we power brake slide, emergency brake slide into the dirt right in front of the cop and jump out of the car. He jumps out of the car, pulls his gun on us, and we're like, hey, we're in a scavenger hunt. We just need to take a picture with you. And he's like, not tonight, suckers. Y'all get back in your car and get on down the road. By the way, you're doing 65 and a 35. Slow down. I'm like, yes, sir. Have a great evening.
That's when you just look over and like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's not
take
do that
it slow.
again.
Do not speed. Do not pass go. Do not pay $200.
Oh, man. I always love telling the story of driving through small towns. I had a headlight go out, and I had 4 different cops pull me over for the headlight.
For the one car you were bringing back.
Yeah. Seems like they talk to each other and let you know, hey, there's this dumbass down here with a headlight.
With a headlight out, and I've already told him to put, go fix it.
He's already late to getting back home, so let's make him even worse. Let's make him wait.
Yeah.
Pulled over 4 different times, only in the small towns. I get to San Antonio, and they do not care. They do not care if I have a headlight out.
The rest of them are bored.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
See if you're drunk.
I think that's a lot of what it was. It's like, let's pull him over and see what kind of Russian roulette this guy's playing.
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
All right, my man. Well, I can let you get home because it looks like you're not at home. It looks like you're at work.
Yeah, sitting here in the office. Yeah.
So you probably want to get home and eat some dinner.
Is there anyone you want to shout out or anything that you want to bring up before we end this episode?
Of course, my wife, Megan, has been dealing with this craziness over here for 24 years. That's my first shout out. And then, of course, my team, Rick Lewis, who's my GM, and Clint Moses is my lead tech, and all the guys in the shop that get shit done. And so that's my major shout outs, my admin, Tracy, and, Mike, the parts guy, and all those guys that we wouldn't be able to do what we do and have fun if they weren't doing what they do to get shit done. So,
yep.
And then, of course, RJ and all the guys that, helped us get to where we are, all our customers and stuff that, got us through where we've been. So never forget the guy that got you where you are. So,
oh, of course. I mean, of course. And then having you on the show, man, like you said earlier, we've known each other for a bunch, several years. And, I love the fact that, we've been able to have you come on as a sponsor, and come on as a guest. And then hopefully we'll be doing some events here pretty soon because the relationship that we've had as fellow car enthusiasts and being involved in everything here in South Texas has just been amazing. So we really appreciate you being on, and we appreciate you being on the team.
And we look forward to seeing that invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great show. So it's always a good time.
It's my first one. I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah. You got to do the pinup contest, or are you just going to go to have fun?
No, I actually entered it to see. So I don't know. We'll see what happens from there. I stepped away from doing stuff like that, and I was like, fuck it. Let's just do it. Screw it.
I mean, I don't know if you knew this, but you were talking to Miss Caliente Harley Davidson 2021.
I heard. Congratulations. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm with you there, kid. I mean, car shows, I just come to the point that I'm not going to work. I'm going to go have fun, you know, so just go enjoy the culture, because otherwise it just turns into work and I've got to talk to people and try to sell and promote and all that. I'd rather just go hide in a crowd and drink some beer and hang out with my buddies instead. So
I would imagine at the point that you're at, not that you don't have to promote your business, but at the point that you're at, you're kind of done with the shaking hands and kissing babies, you know, trying to get people to come to your shop. Like,
luckily I've been blessed that I don't have to do that. I was always terrible at shaking babies and kissing hands. I never liked that. I used to do 26 car shows a year, and I'd pull my trailer behind me with parts, and because we had a full parts store, and that's how I got into the show as a vendor, slinging parts and T-shirts, and now, I whittle it down to about 3 shows a year. And so I don't have to, haul the trailer in and stuff like that. Even last year with Lone Star Roundup, my wife actually in 2020 got us a trip to Hawaii, gifted to us by a friend. And she's like, I'm going to put it on the date of Lone Star Roundup, so you don't take 6 cars to the show, your 40-foot trailer, and spend hours and hours on the road hauling cars back and forth. She's like, so you're leaving the Roundup straight to the airport. I'm like, okay, I'll just get a smaller spot and just take a couple of cars. Yeah, because I'll start going, we got 3-4 weeks in, we can put upholstery in my Riviera. We've got I've got a month out, I can repaint this whole car, and that's, I do it every year. In my 53 Victoria this year, like, okay, let's do a Watson paint job on this thing before the Roundup, And my people look at me like, are you an idiot? I'm like, yes, let's do it anyways.
Kinda.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a disease. I got to do it.
100% it's a disease. I mean, I've traded so many cars, I've sold so many cars, I've bought so many cars. Yeah, and I don't even do this for a business. It is a disease.
Yeah.
But
I counted 13 that I had just a couple of months ago, and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to sell some of these.
Dwindle them down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
That way you can go make room for the other 13 that are coming home.
There it is. Yeah. Go build a bigger building, buy more land. I can build bigger cars, better cars, more cars.
That's our idea with upgrading to a bigger house. We just need room for the cars.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
So, well, we will let our folks get back to their normal daily lives. They're probably slacking off at work listening to podcasts anyway. But thanks for coming on, and thanks for being a part of what we're doing, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, y'all are awesome. I love what y'all are doing with the culture, so keep doing it.
All right, folks, in all things custom, keep it cool.
Bing, bang, boom. See you next Tuesday.
Don't say see you next Tuesday.
I can poop anywhere.
We know.